Johnny Depp and Amber Heard have been involved in a handful of lawsuits dating back to their divorce in 2017. By that point, Heard had accused Depp of abuse, and that would lead to an April 2018 headline by The Sun, which referred to Depp as a wife-beater. Recently, Judge Andrew Nicol determined that Amber's claims were substantial, which also let The Sun off the hook. The 14 incidents that led to the judge's ultimate decision, which include the 12 leading to the court's ultimate decision, as well as what he thought regarding each specific incident, have now been released. I'm going to tell you guys all about it right now in IO. So over the course of this video, we'll be going over each of the 14 incidences that were cited in court and how Judge Nichols came to the conclusion he did regarding each individual incident. The order of each incident will also be in chronological order, starting with the first incident that took place in early 2013. Heard claimed that after mocking Depp for his Wino Forever tattoo, which was a tribute to his ex Winona Ryder, he struck her. Afterward, Heard claimed that Depp apologized and blamed it on the monster in him. The judge explained, I quote, "Seen in isolation, the evidence that Mr. Depp assaulted Miss Heard on this occasion might not be sufficient. However, taken with the evidence as a whole, I find that it did occur." Incident 2 took place on March 8, 2013. Photo evidence was shown to the court that Depp had changed the signature last name on a painting gifted to Heard from her ex, Taysa Van Ree. Johnny attempted to change her last name to Van P, and as per Amber, he went on to try and set fire to the painting itself. After explaining he was too inebriated to follow through with his attempt, he would end up hitting her for a second time, while demanding that Heard admits to wanting to have an affair with her ex, as well as another man she claimed she barely knew. Heard also explained Depp was intoxicated by drugs and alcohol, to which the judge ruled, "Overall, I conclude that Mr. Depp did assault Miss Heard." Number 3 occurred in June of 2013 in Hicksville at a party. Following an interaction between Amber and one of her friends, which Johnny referred to as an extremely sexual manner, Amber claimed that Johnny went into a jealous rage, trashed the entire trailer they were staying in, and put his hands on her. Johnny admitted to being intoxicated, claiming he had drank, smoked some cannabis, as well as took magic mushrooms, but also claimed that Amber and her friends were partaking as well. Depp also mentioned white powder, however the Daily Mail claimed that to be MDMA. Johnny claimed that he just asked the friend to stop and that only a light fixture was broken in the trailer. Still, the judge ruled, I quote, "The argument and the damage to property are symptomatic of Mr. Depp's manner when the monster side of his personality was dominant. I also accept the evidence of Miss Heard that another aspect of the monster was that Mr. Depp physically assaulted her as she described." Incident number 4 occurred on May 24th, 2014 while on a plane from Boston to LA. Amber said that Johnny got incredibly jealous after she filmed a romantic scene with James Franco the day prior on a film. He had been heavily drinking, and eventually the two argued, leading to Johnny throwing objects at her, slapping her, and kicking her in the back. Johnny claimed he was sketching in a notebook when Heard started verbally abusing him. Depp claims he tried to, I quote, "playfully tap her on the bottom with his foot." However, Heard claims she was kicked to the ground and Johnny eventually passed out by the toilet. The judge explained, I quote, "These verbal insults became, in the course of the flight, physical abuse. Mr. Depp managed to kick Miss Heard on her back or bottom. This was more than a playful tap. Contrary to what he said, Mr. Depp was jealous of Mr. Franco, who was much younger than Mr. Depp and closer to Miss Heard's age." The next incident, number 5, occurred in the Bahamas, August 17th, 2014. Depp was trying to cure his addiction to painkillers, so the two went on what appeared to be a retreat to the Bahamas. Amber claims he was trying to kick his addiction to a handful of other drugs as well, but either way, it seems his private doctor had to be flown out to treat him for something. Odds are it was withdrawal, as sometimes your body literally can't function when it's been relying on external sources for so long. Amber claimed Johnny had pulled her hair, kicked, pushed, and screamed at Heard, while Johnny claimed she stopped a nurse from treating him while he was going through withdrawal. Judge Nichols explained, "I find it more likely than not that Mr. Depp did push Miss Heard on at least one occasion. I'm not able to conclude whether there was more than this one assault." The court then moved on to incident number 6, which happened in LA, December 17th, 2014. The first of the 2 incidents that the judge actually sided with Johnny. Amber claimed that Johnny had attacked her and later texted her apologizing, while referring to himself as a savage and a lunatic. Johnny denied any form of assault, and the judge went on to rule, I quote, "I am not persuaded that incident 6 constituted a physical assault of Miss Heard by Mr. Depp." Incident 7 takes us to Tokyo, January 25th, 2015. Amber claims that Johnny was once again physically abusive, shoving her, slapping her, and grabbing her hair while in a hotel room. At one point, sources claim he was standing on top of her screaming as she laid on the ground. Depp denied this ever happened, yet still the judge went on to say, I quote, "I conclude that Mr. Depp did assault Miss Heard." The next incident occurred on March 8th, 2015 in Australia. Amber claims that Johnny hit her multiple times after they argued about his alleged use of MDMA. She cites he was drinking and taking pills over the course of 3 days, and after attacking her, severed his own finger by smashing a telephone into the wall. Johnny claimed that Amber was in, I quote, "a prolonged and extreme rage," following an argument they had, which led to him admitting to breaking his sobriety. After admitting to having several glasses of vodka, Johnny claimed Amber threw a bottle at him, severing his finger, and put a cigarette out on his cheek. The one detail that remained consistent was that Johnny started writing messages on the wall using his blood, which Johnny claimed he did so due to him being in shock of the situation. explanation. The judge ruled, I quote, "I accept that Heard was the victim of sustained and multiple assaults by Mr. Depp in Australia. It is a sign of the depth of his rage that he admitted scrawling graffiti in blood from his injured finger, and then, when that was insufficient, dipping his badly injured finger in paint and continuing to write messages and other things. I accept her evidence of the nature of the assaults he committed against her. They must have been terrifying. I accept that Mr. Depp put her in fear of her life." Incident number 9 then occurred on March 23, 2015 in LA. That'd be my 21st birthday. Alrighty then. Amber claims she found evidence that Johnny was cheating on her in the form of text messages, which led to an argument between the two of them. As per Amber, Johnny would end up hitting her and threatened to push Amber's sister down the stairs. Johnny claims Amber was, I quote, "beating him in a rage" as he tried to leave their home, which is around the time that she threw a can of Red Bull at him and punched him in the face. The judge ruled, I quote, "I accept that Mr. Depp did assault Miss Heard. As she admitted, she did punch him, but I accept that it was in defense of her sister." Incident 10 took place during their honeymoon on a train. It was August 2015, and the two were on the Eastern and Oriental Express when Amber claims she and Johnny got into an argument, resulting in her fearing for her life. Heard claimed Johnny had thrown her up against the wall and grabbed her by the throat. As per The Sun, her diary entry read, I quote, "Hurt last night was particularly bad. We finally fell asleep with one another smashed together in desperate, childlike anger, fear, and love. Our fight was terrible. Johnny at one point found himself with his shirt wrapped around my neck. Amazing to think about precision, coordination that required considering the close circumstances. He hit me several times." Johnny denied all the claims, and his security guard, Malcolm Connolly, also said he didn't hear any commotion and would have noticed if Amber had been injured. The judge ruled, I quote, "I accept that Miss Heard was assaulted by Mr. Depp. I accept that she feared for her life on this occasion." Just a few months later, Incident 11 occurred in LA on November 26, 2015. The two were in LA celebrating Thanksgiving, which is when Amber claims Johnny ripped her shirt and threw her around the room before throwing a wine glass and decanter at her. She also claims he pushed her over a chair, resulting in her falling over and hitting her head. Depp denied all the claims, and for whatever reason, this was the only other incident the judge actually believed Johnny. He ruled, I quote, "Since Depp was never cross-examined about the alleged incident, I do not accept that it is proven." The 12th incident was the last to occur in 2015 and happened on December 15. Amber claims that Johnny yet again threw a decanter at her, slapped her, and then dragged her around the apartment by her hair, leading to chunks of her hair being found on the floor. She claims he then followed her upstairs while screaming, proceeded to headbutt her, and when she said she wanted to leave him, threatened to kill her. Johnny claimed that Amber falsified the photo evidence she submitted, which included the blonde hair on the ground. Instead, Depp claimed he was the one who was violently attacked at the hands of Heard. Yet still, the judge ruled, I quote, "Mr. Depp assaulted Miss Heard. Mr. Depp also tore out clumps of hair from Miss Heard's head." The two incidents that took place in 2016 happened exactly 1 month apart, with Incident 13 occurring on April 21st, 2016 at a birthday party, and Incident 14 happening May 21st, 2016 in LA. The first one happened at Amber's birthday party, which Johnny arrived 2 hours late to. Amber claimed Johnny was drunk and high on drugs, which led to the two of them having an argument after the guests left. The argument turned violent, which is when Amber claimed Johnny threw a bottle of champagne at her and shoved her to the floor multiple times before leaving a note reading "Happy birthday." Johnny claimed he was sober upon his 2-hour late arrival, citing meetings with new business managers and accountants. He went on to explain he was, I quote, "shocked from what he had learned at the meeting about his business affairs." Later that night, Johnny claims while in bed reading, Amber punched him in the face 4 times before he grabbed her wrists in self-defense. The next morning, Johnny claims Amber or one of her friends took a dump in their bed, which was found by the maid. Amber at first allegedly told the building manager it was a harmless prank, but since has denied she took part and has gone on to claim it was one of her dogs who left the poop. The judge explained, I quote, "Depp assaulted Miss Heard as he had done on previous occasion, and for what it is worth, I consider that it is unlikely that Miss Heard or one of her friends was responsible for the feces." The last incident took place exactly a month later on May 21st, 2016, which is after Johnny had filed for divorce with Amber. Amber claims Johnny arrived at their apartment in LA intoxicated once again and became angry, throwing her phone at her, which resulted in the phone hitting her eye. He then began to smash things while drinking from a bottle. Johnny explained he went to the apartment with 2 security guards to collect his stuff after Amber and her sister tried to repeatedly contact him. At one point, Johnny claims his security entered the room after hearing Amber yell, I quote, "Stop hitting me, Johnny." But upon their arrival, Johnny was standing 20 feet away from her in the kitchen. The police officers who arrived on scene also, I quote, "saw no injuries or bruising or swelling." Still, the judge explained, I quote, "There is evidence which I find compelling of witnesses who saw Miss Heard with injuries to her face and who took photographs of these. I reached the view that Mr. Depp did assault Miss Heard." Now take from all that what you will. I personally find it incredibly hard to believe the judge could accurately come to the conclusion he came to regarding a handful of these incidents, as it seems Amber was the aggressor more often than not. That being said, as I've been saying all along, I'm sure the courts have information that isn't readily available to the public. When all is said and done, I just hope the truth does come out, and those who need to be held accountable for their actions are appropriately dealt with. As always guys, let me know your thoughts on this one down below, and for now, we'll do some comment replies from the video. Melania Trump will divorce Donald Trump after this. Layla Roland said, she seems like actress when she is with him. I don't think she's acting. I think a lot of people want to believe that she doesn't want to be with him and she doesn't want to hold his hand and stuff. I think she's in love with him. And that's just, I'm gonna stand here and I'll die on this hill because you guys think it's all an act. I'm gonna say it's not an act. I'm gonna say she loves him, and that's my stance. Here's my dance. My true crime library said, imagine being married to Donald Trump must be miserable and embarrassing. Well, this is the backup, my claim. Back it up. I'm backing up my claim that I just said about the whole comment thing. Something my improv teacher said that always stuck with me in my acting class was, the villain of every story thinks they're the hero. So Trump doesn't think that he's, all these awful things that you guys call him. The same way, I guarantee Melania doesn't think that he's all these awful things. Melania probably sees Trump as the best president for the United States of America. No one thinks they're the villain. No one thinks they're a bad person. So when you think of it from that perspective, as Melania, do you genuinely think she would be with somebody that she detests? No, of course not. She probably thinks he's the greatest guy in the world. He's a wealthy, successful businessman. He was the president of the United States. What can't this guy do? That's probably how Melania sees it. Keep that in mind. Perspective, very important. Zell said, I could see this happening from a mile away after he lost. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's officially gonna happen. I think it's just the tabloids trying to poke some fun and take some jabs at Trump and kick him while he's down, which, do what you gotta do. People hate the man. So, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with kicking somebody when they're down. That being said, in politics, you're kind of always a target. So you gotta, it happens. It is what it is. I'm not, saying that anything great about Trump. All I'm saying is you guys gotta think of perspective here. I don't think Melania's divorcing him, and I think Melania thinks he's the greatest. All perspective, thinks he's the best. The same way as kids think he's a hero. It's just the way it is, guys. Anyways, that's all for this one, guys. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein, and we'll see you soon.